You know, whenever I told people I was going to Mexico, almost everyone gave me the same reaction. Be careful. It's dangerous. I'll be brutally honest with you. Before this trip, I had the same misconceptions that probably 90% of you watching this have right now. I thought it was just beach resorts, dangerous border towns, and places you see in the news. But what I discovered completely shattered everything I thought I knew. I found ancient civilizations that built cities bigger than Rome, then just vanished without a trace. Volcanic islands that literally erupted from the ocean floor. And here's the crazy part. Most people outside Mexico, especially in the US, have no clue this side even exists. Just like me, they only know the stereotypes. Stay with me till the end. I'm saving one spot that flipped my idea of Mexico in 10 seconds. Let's start in a place that made me question if I was still on the same planet. My first stop was Las Coloradas, a remote corner of the Yucatan Peninsula that looks like it belongs on another world entirely. Then I arrived, and I thought someone was playing a prank on me. Massive lakes that looked like someone dumped giant containers of strawberry milk across the desert. Not kidding. The water is so pink it looks fake, like a movie set or something. But here's where it gets crazy. This isn't some new tourist gimmick. The Maya were harvesting salt from these exact pink lakes over 1,000 years ago, creating trade empires that reached Guatemala. The insane color comes from microscopic algae called Dunaliella salina that actually thrive in water 10 times saltier than the ocean. The wildest part. Flamingos just casually hang out here like it's completely normal to wade through cotton candy-colored water while massive white salt pyramids tower around them. I kept thinking, how many other incredible secrets is Mexico hiding that nobody bothers to mention? After Las Coloradas completely shattered my expectations, I thought I'd seen everything Mexico could throw at me. I was wrong, again. My next destination was Isla San Benedicto, part of the Revillagigedo Islands. A place where there is no villages, no crowds, just raw, untouched nature. The moment I stepped onto that black volcanic sand, I literally got chills. Not from cold, from pure awe. The beauty was so raw and powerful it actually made me emotional. Picture the blackest sand you've ever seen, stretching beneath these massive volcanic cliffs that just shoot straight up from the most incredible turquoise water. I stood there feeling so tiny, so insignificant, but also so grateful to be witnessing something this untouched. This place was born from volcanic eruptions just 300,000 years ago. In 1952, a volcano literally exploded out of the ocean here, creating new land. Standing on ground that young made me feel like I was witnessing creation itself. The silence here hit me hard too. Just me in this prehistoric landscape that felt like Earth's secret. The water was so clear I could see the ocean floor 150 feet down, which honestly made me a bit dizzy. Mexico kept leaving me speechless. I didn't expect Mexico to have a place that feels so untouched, so otherworldly. It left me in absolute awe. After the raw volcanic silence of Isla San Benedicto, I craved colour and calm, and that's exactly what I found at Laguna Bacalar. They call it the Lake of Seven Colours, and the moment I saw it, I understood why. The water shifts from deep indigo to turquoise to crystal clear shallows, like a painter spilled every shade of blue in one place. What completely blew my mind was learning this lagoon is over 2 million years old and reaches depths of 300 feet in some spots. Some locals have banned motorboats in parts of the lagoon to preserve water clarity, so you might see kayaks and sailboats gliding silently, giving the place a very calm and surreal feel. Bacalar Lagoon connects to several cenotes, deep natural sinkholes, including Cenote Azul, one of the deepest in Mexico at around 90 meters, 300 feet. Locals say it hides tunnels connecting to other cenotes, a diver's dream, but also a bit mysterious. The incredible colors come from different depths and limestone formations that have been developing for millennia. The Maya once used this lagoon as a trade route, and later it became a hiding place during pirate attacks. Even today, the old San Felipe fort still watches over the town. I didn't expect one place to carry so much beauty and history together, but Bacalar did exactly that. After being completely mesmerized by Laguna Bacalar's impossible blues, I was pulled deep into the heart of Mexico, to Teotihuacán. Walking through the entrance and seeing the massive Pyramid of the Sun rising 200 feet into the sky, I got goosebumps. I remember standing at the base, looking up, wondering how an ancient civilization managed to build something so perfect without the tools we have today. This wasn't just old. This place was thriving when Rome was still building its empire. Over 200,000 people lived here 2,000 years ago, making it one of the world's largest cities at the time. But here's what blew my mind. Nobody knows who actually built this place. The civilization that created these incredible pyramids just vanished, leaving behind this massive mystery. Climbing to the top of the Pyramid of the Moon and looking down the Avenue of the Dead, I felt this overwhelming connection to something ancient and powerful. I realized Mexico had saved its most mysterious secret for last. Leaving the massive pyramids of Teotihuacán behind, I traveled inland, and the scenery changed completely. Instead of beaches and quiet waves, two towering volcanoes rose on the horizon.
Popocatépetl and Iztaccíhuatl.
I'll be honest, no photo I'd ever seen prepared me for how massive they look in person. Popocatépetl immediately caught my eye, its peak sometimes puffing out a thin cloud of smoke, like it was breathing right in front of me. It felt alive, powerful, almost intimidating. Then, right beside it, Iztaccíhuatl was the complete opposite. Covered in snow, quiet and still, it looked almost like a sleeping figure. Standing there, between a volcano that could erupt at any moment and a mountain that seemed frozen in time, was surreal. like I was caught in a story that's been unfolding for thousands of years. After leaving behind the towering volcanoes, I never imagined my next stop would take me so far into the ocean, to a place I'd barely even heard of before, the Revillagigedo Islands. Getting there felt like reaching the edge of the world. But what I found made every mile worth it. One of the spots that left the biggest impression on me in the Revillagigedo Islands was Roca Partida. It's just a narrow rock rising straight out of the ocean, with no trees, no sand, nothing but cliffs and crashing waves. I'll never forget when a whale rolled beside us at Roca Partida. Every winter, humpback whales travel thousands of miles from Alaska to give birth and nurse their calves here, turning these remote waters into a nursery for the largest mammals on Earth. And if that's not enough, Roca Partida is also a hotspot for some of the ocean's most elusive predators: silky sharks, hammerheads, and even the gentle whale shark. There are at least 366 species of fish in these waters, including 26 species found nowhere else on Earth. The calm sea erupted as its massive body hit the water with a thunderous splash, sending ripples across the waves. For a moment, everything went quiet, just awe. Watching a creature that huge move with such grace was truly unforgettable. In Tulum, history and nature come together in the most unforgettable way. The Mayan ruins rise from the land, their weathered stone walls standing as a testament to the people who once lived there. Building, trading, and thriving centuries ago. Tulum, which means wall or fence in the Mayan language, was one of the last major cities the Maya built, reaching its height between the 13th and 15th centuries, and serving as a key coastal trading hub because of its position on cliffs overlooking the Caribbean. Walking among them, I could almost feel the energy of the past around me. Not far from the ruins, I discovered the Vesica cenote, a hidden pool of crystal clear water tucked into the jungle. Leaning over its edge and dipping my hands in, I felt a quiet connection to something ancient and untouched. What fascinated me was learning that Tulum's main pyramid, El Castillo, also served as a kind of ancient lighthouse. Archaeologists discovered that its windows were placed in such a way that they aligned with the rising sun and helped sailors navigate safely through the coral reefs below, centuries before modern navigation tools even existed. Between the ruins and the cenote, Tulum felt alive, full of stories waiting to be experienced firsthand. When I walked through Guanajuato, I was completely taken by how alive the city felt. The city's hills are covered with brightly colored houses, stacked so closely they almost seemed to tumble down toward each other. These houses looked like someone had painted the whole town by hand. Guanajuato was founded by the Spanish in 1554, and by the 18th century, it had become one of the richest silver mining centers in the world. The wealth from its mines funded some of the most ornate Baroque churches and buildings in Mexico. And the narrow, winding streets made me feel like I was discovering a secret around every corner. The entire city looks like a giant box of crayons spilled over the mountains. This colourful tradition started in the 1800s, when mine owners painted houses in bright colours to make the mining town more cheerful. Sunlight bounced off the bright walls, making the colours almost glow. Guanajuato has a dramatic geography. The city is built over steep hillsides at around 2,050 metres, about 6,700 feet above sea level, and spread across ravines. Many streets are narrow, winding, and some of them go underground. The city tunnels originally helped to channel water and have since been converted into roads and pedestrian paths. From many spots, I could see the surrounding mountains framing the city, adding a dramatic backdrop to the vibrant streets below. During the Mexican War of Independence in 1810, a miner nicknamed El Pipila strapped a stone slab to his back as a shield and set fire to the wooden gate of the Spanish granary, allowing rebels to win a key victory. Today, there's a giant statue of him overlooking the city. Guanajuato isn't just a city you see, it's a city you feel. After soaking in the mountains and colourful streets of Guanajuato, I craved something softer, more peaceful, and I found it at Playa Balandra in Baja California Sur. The moment I walked through the mangroves and saw Playa Balandra spread out before me, I literally stopped breathing for a second. This wasn't just a beach. It was like nature had spent millions of years perfecting the most beautiful lagoon imaginable. The water was so shallow and clear, it looked like a giant mirror reflecting the sky. With the softest white sand I'd ever felt beneath my feet, and the water shifts between shades of blue and green like a painting that changes as you move. But what really got me was the famous mushroom rock formation, sitting right in the middle of this pristine bay. This iconic rock has been shaped by wind and waves for thousands of years, creating this perfect natural sculpture that looks almost too artistic to be real. Mexico just kept showing me that every single place had its own unique magic waiting to be discovered. After that incredibly peaceful experience at Playa Balandra, I craved the sound of waves. And that led me to Zihuatanejo, a coastal town that feels like Mexico at its most authentic. Standing on the beach and looking back at those homes was just as beautiful as the sea itself. They seemed to watch over the bay, each one with its own charm, as if the whole town was built to face the sea. And then there were the boats, dozens of them resting in the calm water, rocking lazily as if time didn't matter here. Standing there, I caught myself thinking how incredible it would be to wake up in one of those homes, step out onto a balcony, and watch the boats drift out at sunrise. It felt peaceful in a way that stays with you. But the real magic came at sunset, standing on the hillside, watching the bay turn gold and pink. I couldn't help but think, this was the kind of beauty you don't just see, you feel. After leaving behind the peaceful charm of Zihuatanejo, I made my way to Oaxaca, where I discovered one of the most surreal places I've ever seen, Hierve el Agua. From a distance, it looks like a massive waterfall frozen in time. But when you get closer, you realize it's all stone, carved slowly over thousands of years by mineral-rich water. The water is so rich in minerals that it literally creates rock formations that look exactly like cascading water. And then there were the ponds, shallow turquoise pools that seemed to float right on the edge of the mountain. I dipped my feet in, and the cool water instantly cut through the heat of the day. Sitting there, with the mountains stretching endlessly into the horizon, I felt like I was balanced between earth and sky. Mexico had just shown me waterfalls made of stone. After that surreal experience at Hierve el Agua, soaking in those cliff-edge pools while staring out over the Oaxacan Valley, I was feeling pretty adventurous. So I decided to make my way to Taxco. Perched in the mountains of Guerrero, this little town instantly caught my heart with its whitewashed houses, red-tiled roofs, and narrow cobblestone streets twisting up and down the hillsides. From above, it looked almost like the town had spilled across the mountains, clinging to every slope. The entire city spread across the mountains like a blanket of white and red, glowing as the sun dipped lower. Taxco was once among the world's richest cities, its silver mines leaving behind a legacy still seen in its architecture and silversmith traditions today. Taxco wasn't just charming, it felt alive and timeless. Leaving behind the timeless streets of Taxco, I found myself in Cabo San Lucas, standing at Land's End, where the desert literally crashes into the ocean. I was absolutely stunned. The contrast hit me hard. Golden desert stretching endlessly behind me, crystal clear turquoise water in front, and these ancient rock arches that waves had been carving for thousands of years. One of the moments I'll never forget was visiting Playa del Amor, this hidden beach tucked between towering rocks. Getting there was part of the adventure. You can only reach it by boat, weaving through turquoise waters. Stepping onto the sand felt like silk under my feet that seemed to glow in the sunlight. On one side, the bay was calm and gentle, almost inviting you to stay forever. On the other side, just a few steps away, the Pacific Ocean roared with a power that reminded me how small I really am. That balance, peacefulness, and wild energy side by side is what made the place unforgettable. Leaving the ocean behind in Cabo, I traveled inland to Uxmal. A place that feels more like a living memory than just an archaeological site. This ancient city was once one of the most powerful in the Maya world, flourishing between 600 and 900 AD. Unlike many other ruins, Uxmal was built with extraordinary precision, its structures aligned with the stars, showing how deeply the Maya connected their lives to the universe. Walking into Uxmal for the first time, I was immediately struck by how different it felt from other ruins I'd seen. The pyramid of the magician rose up in front of me with these incredibly smooth, rounded corners that looked almost modern. But what really got me was the intricate stone carvings covering every surface. Geometric patterns so detailed and perfect they looked like they'd been laser cut yesterday. Uxmal doesn't shout its history, it whispers it, and if you pause for a moment, you can almost hear the voices of the past echoing through the stones. I thought I needed to see what Mexico looked like from way up high, so I decided to tackle Nevado de Toluca, this massive, extinct volcano about 2 hours from Mexico City. I reached the crater rim at 15,354 feet above sea level, and I literally gasped so hard I almost fell over. Inside this ancient volcanic crater were 2 pristine alpine lakes, Laguna del Sol and Laguna de la Luna, sitting like perfect blue jewels in what felt like the roof of the world. Walking up the trail and finally seeing them appear below me was surreal, like discovering secret worlds inside a giant mountain. The colors of the lakes shift with the light, from deep blue to almost green, surrounded by the silent walls of the crater. I felt this incredible rush of accomplishment, mixed with pure wonder. This volcano has been dormant for 3,300 years, and here I was, breathing thin air at nearly 16,000 feet, looking at a view that maybe a handful of people get to see each day. Mexico had taken me from sea-level paradise to literally touching the clouds. Where I was literally breathing clouds, I needed to get back to sea level and warm up. So I headed to Isla Mujeres, thinking it would just be your typical Caribbean beach destination after all these mind-blowing discoveries. The moment I stepped onto that pristine white sand, I felt this overwhelming sense of peace wash over me. The water was this incredible shade of turquoise that looked almost fake, so clear I could see my feet perfectly even when I was chest deep. But it wasn't just the beauty that got me, it was the vibe. What really amazed me was discovering this isn't just some modern resort destination. This 4-mile-long island was actually a sacred Maya site for over 1,500 years. Fishermen here still pull up ancient pottery and jade pieces from the ocean floor. The island sits right on the edge of the second largest coral reef system in the world, which explains why the marine life was absolutely incredible. After the raw, untamed power of Toluca's volcano, Isla Mujeres felt like Mexico was showing me its softer side. peaceful, colourful, and quietly unforgettable. Leaving the calm shores of Isla Mujeres behind, I set out toward the rugged landscapes of northern Mexico, knowing this would be my final stop, the legendary Copper Canyon. Standing here, I realized this place is not just one canyon, but a vast network of 6, together almost 4 times larger and even deeper in some parts. The scale is hard to put into words. Endless ridges fading into the horizon, sheer cliffs catching the light, and valleys carved by rivers that have been flowing for millions of years. One of the most unforgettable moments was riding the cable car at Divisadero. Suspended high above the canyon, I felt like I was floating between earth and sky, watching the sheer cliffs stretch endlessly in every direction. You know what really gets to me? Before visiting Mexico, I had all these stupid stereotypes in my head, thinking it was mostly dangerous places, rundown areas, or just typical beach resorts. But traveling through places like Las Coloradas, Copper Canyon, Uxmal, and all these incredible hidden gems completely shattered every misconception I had. Mexico isn't what the headlines make it out to be. It's this absolutely stunning country, packed with natural wonders, ancient mysteries, and breathtaking beauty that rivals anywhere else in the world. Mexico has been hiding some of the planet's most incredible secrets. I feel genuinely sad that so many people miss out on these life-changing experiences because of fear and misunderstanding. This country really deserves to be celebrated as the absolute natural and cultural treasure